Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, I'm out and I'm walking by the canal today. I thought that there might be less ice here. And also it's flatter, so less chance to fall on your keister. It's double the temperature yesterday. Yesterday was 19. Today is close to 40, not quite 40. And we have basically the same stories. The primary focus is, of course, what's happening in Ukraine. There was quite an eventful attack on the western part of Ukraine, 15 miles from the border of Poland, which has been a principal way for refugees to leave the state, and many have taken up residence there with the help of the government. And Poland also offered, if you remember, MiG-29s for Ukraine to use in the air and as part of a no-fly zone if that came to pass. But Russia has attacked a base 15 miles from the border, and 35 were killed and 134 were injured, and a reporter named Renaud, I think it is, R-E-N-A-U-D, was killed. So there's quite a bit of action there. So the question is Russia making a strike to avoid using that base for the purposes of getting the jets into Ukraine? Is it a signal to chill Poland against its cooperation with NATO and Ukraine? Or is it building a base from the west that they haven't had to prevent people from leaving the nation except on the say-so of Russia? Anyhow, that's a significant development. Another one is that 2 mayors have been kidnapped from 2 different cities in Ukraine. One story had the mayor of Melitopol, if that's the correct way to say it, who they put a cover over his head and they kidnapped him. So he's been taken out. There's no question about answered as of yet about whether he was hurt, where he is, any of the above, what intelligence he could give, those kinds of things. The public discussion shows by the administration a fear of the word World War III. I think by most objective observers, we're in World War III. We can say we're in it because we've been given arms and support and trainers, and NATO from the borders is apparently being helpful, and Russia is engaging, threatening to come back on us. So how has Biden fared in the polling? Well, he's gotten a slight budge up. He went from 37% last week to 42%. There's great popularity for Zelensky in the States. There is, of course, much opposition to Putin in the United States. In Russia, Putin has 23% who oppose what he's doing, but the rest of the nation apparently thinks it's just fine, which shouldn't surprise us when you have a totalitarian state overrun by a dictator like Putin. It doesn't appear that the sanctions are deterring Putin, but the fighters are pushing back. It's interesting that this issue is dividing the Republican caucus, because some of the Republicans, believe it or not, are supporting Putin, and others, including the minority leader in the House, McCarthy, is opposed to Putin and made it very clear. Their division is our enjoyment, I suppose. But their division in which Republicans are supporting the United States and NATO and Ukraine is a good thing. And there are Democrats that might fall more in the hawk caucus, if you will. And despite my history of opposing war, this one just seems different to me. I feel like I'm channeling my dad somehow, because I don't trust doing little or nothing, and avoiding this fight is a possible alternative to sustain our democracy, our leadership in the world, and our ability to maintain some sense of peace and law and order in the world. I only wish Biden at home would be stronger on this point, and I think he's making a mistake that he's not. But my friends tell me I'm making the mistake, and I tell them I'm in good company. You know, the majority leader of the Senate, head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, various generals. So there is a caucus of people that think you can't win a fight by talking about it. You have to fight it. So those are the developments so far. And what I'll do is I'll be in touch tomorrow. I hope you're doing well. All the best. Bye-bye.